Hey everyone, my name is Coco, and in this video we will set up Streamlabs desktop and help you start sharing your content with the world no matter what service you plan on doing it on. First, we'll go through the download and installation process together. Then we'll set up our streaming service and enter our stream key. We'll make sure our encoder settings are the best based on the computer hardware and the internet connection. We'll create basic scenes like starting soon, be right back, gaming and ending, and we'll add a webcam source. I've included chapters to this video with timestamps so you can jump directly to the information you need, or if you want to skip any steps you already did. If you would rather use OBS Studio, Twitch Studio, or XSplit, you can find similar tutorials and neat tips and tricks in the playlist linked above and in the description of this video. Otherwise, let's get right into it so you can get to creating content. Let's start by downloading Streamlabs desktop if you haven't already. To do so, we're going to head over to the Streamlabs website and click the download button, which should automatically download the version that's relevant to your type of system. Review the license agreement because that's really important, and then click I agree. Choose a destination folder for the installation. Most of the time the default location is fine, but I like to keep all my programs and software in a separate hard drive that has more space. Click install and watch that green progress bar go. Once it's all done, you can click finish and Streamlabs desktop should launch automatically. When you launch Streamlabs desktop for the very first time, a welcome screen will ask you if you plan on streaming or only recording with the software. I want to use it for streaming, so I'll select the live streaming option and click continue. The next window allows you to choose which streaming platform you plan to stream to. Whether you plan on streaming to Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, the steps are mostly the same and you're able to connect your account to make it even simpler. Or you can skip this step and enter the information like the stream key manually later. I'm going to connect my Twitch account because that's where I'll be streaming. On the next screen, we have a choice to either import scenes from OBS Studio or start fresh. I don't have scenes I can import from OBS, so I'll choose the Start Fresh option. The next window allows you to set up your microphone and a webcam. If you plan on using a webcam, you can make sure it's plugged in and select it from the drop-down menu if it isn't already. From the microphone drop-down, select the microphone you plan on using and click Continue. The next window asks if you want Streamlabs desktop to run a test on your internet speed and your computer hardware to optimize the settings for you. You can always change the settings later, so it doesn't hurt to do it and have a general idea of what it thinks. Click Start and let it do its magic. Once completed, the screen will offer you a choice between two Streamlabs plans. Since I don't plan on using any of the Ultra features, especially not in this tutorial, I'll choose the current plan option. Now we're ready to move on to the next step. Before we dive in deeper to the more complicated stuff, let's go over the user interface quickly. The big black box in the middle is your preview window. That's where you see what the output of your stream or recording looks like. The mini feed dock is where you can see the recent events that happen on your stream, like recent followers and subscribers. The scene collection dock has all the scenes you created, and the sources dock has all the bits and pieces that you place within a scene. The mixer dock is where you'll find all the audio devices that are currently being output, as well as how loud or how quiet they are. The closer to the red zone the audio gets, the louder it is. If you linked an account earlier, you can access your stream chat by clicking the arrow on whichever side it is on the program. You can customize the placement and size of all the different docks in the Layouts menu. If you didn't want to connect your account because you wanted to set up your streaming service manually, here's how you set it up. First, click the gear icon that's in the bottom left in the program, then go under the Stream tab. There you can choose what service you plan on streaming to and add your stream key. Here's how to get it. For Twitch, you want to go to your creator dashboard. Then on the left-hand side, you want to go under Settings and Stream. Your stream key will be the first thing that appears on the screen. You want to copy that key and paste it in Streamlabs desktop. You can also select a specific server to which you want to stream to. Usually picking the closest server to you is the best, but you can download and use the Twitch test bandwidth tool to pinpoint the best server to use. If you do plan on using that tool, you want to look at the server that has the highest bandwidth and the smallest round trip time. A link to the tool can be found in the description of this video. For YouTube, you want to click on the camera button on the top right next to your profile picture, or the button that says Create on it, and click Go Live. A new page will load where you can select right now that you plan on using a streaming software. You can copy your stream key from the new page and paste it in Streamlabs desktop. For Facebook, you want to go to the Create Live Video section, which you can access by going to facebook.com/live/create. Then select the Go Live option. You can then go to the Advanced Settings section to toggle the Persistent Stream Key option, so you won't have to redo this step every time you plan on going live. Copy your stream key and paste it in Streamlabs desktop. Remember that it's important that you keep this key private and not share it with anyone, not even your pet animal, as they would be able to use it to broadcast to your channel. Next up, let's set up our encoder settings. These settings highly depend on the system you have and the internet connection, so it will vary. Click the gear icon and then go under the Output tab. Start by changing the output mode from Simple to Advanced. This adds a couple more options that will not only reflect what the different streaming services recommends in terms of settings, but also will be useful for more advanced things that you can do with Streamlabs Desktop down the line, like removing music from your VODs and using different encoder settings for recording purposes. I have more videos about those things planned or already posted in the Streamlabs Desktop playlist on this channel, so make sure to check them out if you're interested, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out when more come out. If you want the encoder to use your GPU more than your CPU, then select the H.264 option that is available to you in the encoder section, whether it's NVIDIA NVENC for NVIDIA graphics card users or AMD HW for AMD graphics card users. If you only want your CPU to be used when encoding your stream, then select the X264 option. Honestly though, you most likely will always want to make your GPU do most of the heavy lifting. Next, you want to set your bitrate depending on what resolution and frame rate you plan on streaming with. As a reminder, here are the bit rates recommended by the different streaming services. You can find these recommended settings and more on their respective sites, which I've included a link to in the description. Also, don't forget that you want your upload speed to be at least 1.5 times the bitrate that you selected. I suggest anyone new to start with the lowest setting and bump them up bit by bit until you reach a point where you're satisfied when rewatching your streams, or right before whenever your computer or internet bandwidth can't keep up. Set the keyframe interval to 2 seconds, then make sure the CPU usage preset is set to very fast, and choose main as a profile. Next, go to the video section of the settings and set the base canvas resolution to the resolution of the monitor you use for your game, and the output scale resolution to the resolution you want to stream with. Finally, choose either 30 or 60 as the frame rate you plan on using for streaming in the common FPS value. From here on out, everything else gets easier. If you skip the webcam and microphone device setup earlier, we're going to go through the audio settings to make sure our audio sources are the right ones, because sometimes it uses devices like the webcam microphone, which never sounds the best. Click the gear icon, and under the audio tab, make sure that the sample rate is set to 48 kHz, and set your desktop audio and microphone to the appropriate devices. If your headphones have a separate channel for chat applications like Discord, you can add that device in the desktop audio 2 source in this section. Click done, and you should be all set in terms of all the settings. You can make some quite complex scenes within Streamlabs Desktop, but for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to create a few basic scenes that will get you started. You can add a new scene by clicking the plus button on the scenes dock, and then give it a name that fits. I'm going to make a starting soon, gaming, be right back, and ending scene. You can click and drag the scene names to rearrange them to your liking. The sources is where the magic really happens. By clicking the plus button on the sources dock, you can add just about anything you can think of. Here's a quick rundown of what the most commonly used sources do. Media file allows you to add a video. Video capture device allows you to add a webcam or a capture card. Image allows you to add an image. Browser source allows you to add a browser source like the ones used for alerts and overlays. Image slideshow allows you to add multiple images in form of a slideshow. Text allows you to add some text. Display capture allows you to show a desktop screen. Window capture allows you to capture any windowed application. Game capture allows you to show a game. Audio input capture allows you to add input devices like a microphone. Audio output capture allows you to add an output device like a speakers or headphones. And scene allows you to add another scene with all of its sources. There's also specific Streamlabs Desktop widgets like goals, chat boxes, and alert boxes that you can add straight from the sources dock. I won't be spending much time creating these scenes, but there's a number of different ways to put your own creative twist into these. If you want to find out how to make some more complex scenes like the one we use on the BnRProject Twitch channel, let me know in the comments below. To make this tutorial as short as possible, I'm just going to put a basic text in the middle of most of these scenes that says what's going on in the screen. For the gaming scene, I find that using the game capture source works perfectly well, so I'll add one of those in. If you play your games in full screen, the default auto mode should work just fine. If you play your games in windowed mode, however, you'd want to change that to capture specific window and select the game you're playing. Unfortunately, using that method, you need to change the captured window every time you change games, or add the different game capture source for every game you play, which is not recommended. Once you tab into the game for a bit, the game should show up on the preview. Almost every game usually gets picked up by the game capture source, but by the odd chance that you're having problems, you can use a window capture source to accomplish the same goal. Now that your scenes are all set up and have sources in them, you can switch between them in the scenes dock, which makes you pretty much ready to stream. For those of you that want to stream with a webcam, here's how to add one and make sure it's using the appropriate resolution. Let's start by adding a new source in the scene you wish to add a webcam to by clicking the plus button and select the video capture device source and name it something convenient, like webcam. From the device drop-down, make sure that the webcam you want to use is selected. Scroll down a bit, and under a resolution FPS type, select the custom option. Under resolution, select the appropriate camera resolution for your webcam, which is probably either 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720. And set the FPS to the appropriate one of your webcam as well, which is probably either 30 or 60, and click OK. I highly suggest muting and hiding the webcam source from the mixer dock to avoid any echo or not so great audio coming from the webcam. You can do so by clicking the speaker button and selecting the hide option in the 3 dots of the audio source. If you have a lot of dead space in your frame like I do here, you can clean it up by holding the Alt key, clicking one of the sides, and dragging it towards the center of the image. Then by clicking on the corner of the source boundaries, you can resize and move it to wherever you want on the screen preview. With these new skills and knowledge, you should be able to start using Streamlabs Desktop for all your content creation needs. Click the like button if you learned something in this video, or if you found the tutorial helpful. Check out the playlist in the link above or in the description to take your Streamlabs Desktop skills to the next level. It covers more in-depth tutorials and neat tips and tricks you can start using to make your content creation even better. If you have any questions or need further guidance, don't hesitate to reach out to us in the comments section below. You can follow us on Twitch, where we currently stream every Sunday, Thursday, and Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Subscribe for more tutorials like this, gaming videos, or vlogs from the BnRProject, and I'll catch you next time.